Perfect.
Oh, one more thing I need to change. Tell me if you hear my voice change.
Sure.
Okay, come on your thing, on already.
I
Okay,
recorded my audio as well, so should be good.
thank you. So recording your audio on your, did my
Mic.
voice change a bit? Did it become very radio DJ?
It's good. It's good.
You're welcome, Rashidah, to our next episode of. I don't even know what to call this. But it's cool. It's cool. I love it. It was really, really cool to have you last time as well. It was very entertaining, I thought, and I wanted it to be about like 10, 20 minutes.
Yeah, we took like an hour.
An hour. You wish now an hour and a half. It took an hour and a half to do that, and it was about for everything together was about 28, 29 gigs
Yeah.
of memory. So it took a while to edit. So I'm sorry it took so long.
No worries.
But I think it came out really, really well in the end. And like I said, I had a very interesting conversation with you. I didn't realize it was going to go there, but yeah, it was cool. So I've been really looking forward to this, and thank you so much for making the time. I really appreciate it. As you know before, I don't start with, "Hey everybody, welcome back." This is no, you just jump right in. And
Yeah.
you just stop at the end, and they're like, "What?" It's fine. I don't care. We need to find some way to distinguish. Okay, so we spoke about quite a lot of things last time, but I'm not quite sure which to, I don't know, explore further, I guess you can call it. I'm not quite sure. Did you have anything in mind that you wanted to maybe
Yeah, let's talk
explore
about
further?
like support. The feeling of
Support.
support, the feeling of not being supported, the feeling of how we could support ourselves even further in our journey. Because I feel like as we grow and wanting bigger things and better things, there's almost a deep need to have a lot of self-trust and self-support. And it's so fascinating because I feel like it's been a big theme for me. Feeling like not supported, craving that support, that journey of needing support for myself. So I don't know. What about you? What do you think about support, that feeling of support?
Well, it depends. What kind of support are you referring to?
In terms
Like
of
anything specific or
emotional, it could be in terms of
emotional
emotional
support?
support, it could be in terms of friendship support, it could be support in terms of your business and how you support yourself and your dreams and things like that.
I have a few opinions about that actually.
Okay.
So we're gonna have a chat
Uh-huh.
because yes, as long as you didn't clarify one specific thing, then we can kind of touch base on a lot of things. Um, I think support is vital,
Mhm.
absolutely vital. Having said that, there are a lot of misconceptions or ideals or some kind of trend. I don't know what it is these
Mhm.
days, where people, first of all, you get the people who you try and support that think, I don't need your support and I don't want it.
Mhm.
Okay, I don't need your support, and you're doing the best you can because you care about them, you care about their well-being. But
Mhm.
there's always this feeling of so like reciprocal, like, okay, you support me, but then I've got to do something for you in return.
Mhm.
Okay, so they are standoffish. Then it's the folks that you ask, because people say people don't ask for support, and when you do ask for support, you get things like, that's your problem. I'm not here to fix you, I'm not here to baby you, I'm here to cradle you. This is the school of hard knocks, and all this mindset. So having said that, yes, I'm a big fan of supporting people. I'm a big fan. I'm very grateful to get support, but on the other hand, I've become very wary of either asking for it or giving it, because of that reaction I've got from some people. That
Mm.
doesn't mean everybody's like that, though.
Yeah.
Not everybody's like that. But did you have like a specific situation where somebody really supported you, or you needed support and you didn't get it, and it was like, why? Why
Yeah.
can't I be supported?
So I feel like I'm really lucky that I get a lot of support. And I feel like in general, not only people support me, but the universe definitely have its own magical ways to send me things that I need very, very easily. But still, I feel like what is missing for me is maybe like self-support, and what does that mean to me, and the need to understand how to support myself, because it's different when your friends support you and the universe support you, your parents support you, but then there's this phase of you being your own best cheerleader and you being your own biggest support system. You know what I mean? And
That's exactly what I'm talking about. I'll be my
yeah,
own best cheerleader. I'll be my own. There are people that love you. Why
yeah,
do you want to do that? It's like, is it meaningless that they are helping you, or are you rejecting help because you think it's going to make you stronger? Some of the strongest people I know in the world ask for help,
mm-hmm.
and ask for support. So,
Mm-hmm.
are you one of those? Like, I'll be my own best, I'm my
you
strongest
know
cheerleader. I'll cheer for myself, or I learn to love yourself and all this, that mindset. We can talk about that as well if you like. I have
yeah.
some opinions about that.
No, share with us your opinions about it.
Okay, well, the thing is, I used to hear it often. People say you must first learn to love yourself, and and I always found it really weird. Love yourself.
Yeah.
It's a strange concept. And then I saw a video by Sadhguru. Maybe I'll put the link below and I'll send it
I
to you.
love him. He's an
Yes,
amazing guru. Yeah.
Okay, so Sadhguru said there's no such thing as self-love or loving yourself. He says it makes no sense. Love is something that exists between two people. Are you two people? Are you schizophrenic? How can you love yourself? You can have it's impossible to have. And then the way he explained it, which I am horrible, I can't explain it half as well as Sadhguru does. It made sense finally to me. Like, you can't love you. You can have self-care.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can care about yourself, you can care about your well-being, you can care about your mental health, you can care about your future or your present or whatever it is. But this concept of self-love, he says there's no such thing. It can't exist. Okay, love is something that you have between two entities, two people, or between you and something else.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you think you are two people, are you crazy? So please give me,
Okay,
there we
so
go. I want to stop there.
I'm a big fan of like self-love. It's something that I've been working on for very, very long. And there's always like, once I thought I got comfortable, there's just a new level of self-love that I need to unlock. Okay, so let's say there's no such thing of self-love then, right? Then what about those people who may have a little bit of self-hate or self-dislike? Would that exist? If self-love doesn't exist, then how would then there be, say, self-love or self-hate?
Okay, so here's what I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody hates themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think some people, which could be the same for love as well, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You could love or hate things that you do, things that you think, or things that you have done, like a regret, or something you're ashamed of, or something like that. So there's shame and there's hate, which is two different things. Or there might be, and there's self-judgment. Okay, there's self-judgment obviously as well, because it's your opinion about the things that you do. It's not you as a person. It's not you as you're not judging your soul or your spirit, or you're judging your actions, or the way you've learned how to do things or not learned how to do things, or your abilities as such. So if you think about it, anybody says like, I hate myself. Okay, you don't really hate yourself. What do you hate about yourself? I hate that I'm not smart enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not this enough, or that I keep saying the wrong things, or I keep making messes in my life. So it's all about actions. You're hating the actions that you're doing. You don't necessarily hate yourself per se.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion, by the way. This is what we created this channel for. Everything we say is opinion. It's not fact. It's not something you must listen to me because I know the truth. I'm just as dumb and lost as the last person, but we're just discussing about how we think about things, and hopefully we can find something that resonates, and we can, build on that for a better future. But that's what I believe. So if you do love something about yourself, you're going to love something about yourself. Now, I'm sure you've been in love before. Okay. And I don't know if the person's ever asked you, is like, what do you love about me? Like, I don't know. I just love you. It's just one of those things. I can say things about you that I admire, that I like, that excite me, or that, I'm very attracted to. But the whole essence of love, for example, a mother loving a baby. Why do you love your baby? It hasn't done anything. It hasn't earned it. It hasn't deserved it. It just is.
Because it's
You know,
cute.
some babies are not that
Because of
cute.
the meaning, yeah.
But you created this life. So,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, the babies are the most undeserving creatures of attention, care, nutrients, protection, whatsoever. And yet they're the ones that get the most of it. And we
Yeah.
can't explain this love because it's inherent in us as people. You created this life. It represents something that means a lot to you.
Mhm.
Okay. So I believe that you can't really hate yourself or love yourself, the true essence of yourself.
Yeah.
But
I think that for me, because I work a lot on self-love, I do believe that there is kind of two people because
sorry, I want to say, first define what you mean by you work on self-love with yourself. That
yeah.
what does that mean?
So, self-love means appreciating, celebrating, loving all of you, your flaws, your characteristic, and comes to a form of, acceptance and love to self, directed to self. Yeah, so I
Okay.
feel like with self-love, and with what Sadhguru say, one of the things that I do believe in, that is a relationship to self where you can love yourself, where you can also don't like yourself. And there's a relationship that you nurture with ourselves and relationship that we neglect within ourselves. So for example, when I focus on work and it became an imbalance and I don't, rest, that relationship with myself is a little bit neglected because I didn't honor my happiness or I didn't honor my intuition. And then there are times where, before my self-love, I have a little bit of, maybe I wouldn't call it self-hate, that would be too extreme, but I definitely had a moment where I was like, I don't really like this Rashidah so much. She's a bit pissy and grumpy and just so boring, that kind of stuff. And then when I work on my self-love, you know what, I'm perfectly fine with having a boring personality. So I was watching on TikTok like few days ago, and somebody said, Capricorn, you have a personality of a cardboard. And I laughed hysterically because I was like, oh my God, I can finally put words to what I've been thinking. And I remember like one time my WhatsApp status was, your breakfast is more interesting than I am, because I just accepted the fact that I'm not really a funny girl or anything else, but it's perfectly fine. I'm just still here with my own thoughts and ideas. So that's the thing with like self-love, which is so fascinating.
That's interesting, but with the exception of maybe one or two things that you mentioned,
Yeah.
essentially talking about self-care, caring for yourself. When you work too hard and you don't take care of yourself, you don't rest, and you don't. I would say it's more self-care. It's like, but while you were speaking, it occurred to me that you will not care about yourself if you don't consider yourself valuable.
Yeah, so I think that self-care is more on like the routine, but self-love is more on the relationship with self, in terms of how much do you love yourself and accept yourself and honor yourself. So maybe it's complementary to self-love, the self-care routine.
Okay, so I'm going to do something now real quick.
Okay.
Okay. And I hope you got time. I'm going to stop the recording.
Okay.
Okay, I want to stop the recording on everything. Stop.
Okay.
Okay, so we just watched the video of Sadhguru because I can't keep talking about it because I don't know how to explain things the way he does. So I'd really love to get your response or reaction or your thoughts about that.
Yeah, so it's still the same because I still believe in self-love and I still believe that there is a relationship to self. But I love the ending. I think it's very beautiful when he mentioned about recognition and our usefulness and how that ties to recognition. Yeah.
Okay, so this, did I speak with you about yes, I think we did speak about external validation, like being validated from other people. And I thought it was really, really nice because we try and get this recognition and validation from other people. Oh, you're so good, you're so like this or like that.
Yeah.
But what they're responding to is not you as a person, it's like how useful you are to them.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a really good thought. It definitely like made me think a little bit more about, our business and my business, things like that.
Absolutely. So the moment you stop being useful to them, you stop getting the validation. But what we do is, we self. I I want to say I instead of we, because I can't speak for you. Is I will think there's something wrong with me now because I'm no longer validated by that person. Okay. Instead of realizing you're still the same person, you're still doing the same things, you still have the same skills, you still have the same entity, but your usefulness to that person, in their opinion, is no longer necessary or needed, or whatever it is. So I completely agree with that. But let's go back to the self-love thing. Okay, would you think that we view ourselves in the same, through the same lens? Let's put it that way. Okay, and also what he said about people don't know what a yogi is. They've got no idea about me whatsoever. But now he's getting all this recognition. I really enjoyed that part because it went back to this, what you said earlier about I'm okay with myself. I'm okay. I can, I'm okay with myself when I'm in a bad mood. I'm okay with myself when I'm grumpy. I'm okay with myself if I'm boring. I'm okay. Okay. Classifying this as love might be the common phraseology that people are using in the world today. It might not be love per se, but there's, for lack of a better way of describing, you just being okay with yourself and enjoying your own company, or learning about yourself as such, or exploring yourself in certain ways. I think that is very, very valuable as such. But
and I think that
I think it falls into love.
It invites a different level of self-love, and I think that everything actually ties back to self-love. Like, fear of external judgment. Where is that self-love not happening, where you're valuing other people's opinion above your own? So it goes back to self-love. And every single step of, asking for abundance, you charging, like me charging $5 versus me charging $250, me loving myself, charging that much versus me loving myself even more and charging even more. So I felt like, in my opinion, like with every different growth and every different actions, there is like a level to self-love to it. Yeah. How about you? Like, do you, if it, let's say that you don't, there's no concept of self-love and you feel like it's more of self-care and things like that, where do you see when it comes to like actions or treatment to self, is there any difference?
I think so. I think so in many ways. So you seem to have found a terminology that works for you. In my brain, maybe because I'm a guy.
Yeah, maybe. It could be. That's why I love this whole conversation, because we really think sometimes very differently.
Yeah. And yet we mean the same thing. It's just that we see it differently. Okay, so I've got another video I'm going to send you. It's a very old video. We will do this for next time. Okay, it's about this guy doing a video about how men's brains work and women's brains work, and that men's brains are essentially boxes. Okay, each thing has a box. Each thing. This is my work box. This is my wife box, or spouse box, or partner box. This is my mother-in-law box. All these kind of things. But women's brains are, everything's interconnected. Yes. Everything's connected everywhere.
I agree 100%. I definitely feel the flow and interconnectedness as a woman.
Okay, so I'm not going to speak too much about this, because if we're going to react to that video, I'd love to put that on screen at some point, and we can react to it properly. But essentially, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's my guy thing, where when you're speaking about validation from external validation, or in my work, how much I charge. To me, the first thing is self-acceptance. Okay, the next one is valuing yourself. Knowing your self-worth, kind of thing. So for me, these are like separate categories rather than under the umbrella of self-love.
Wait, so enlighten me. I would like to understand, when you say about, say, self-worth and confidence, the difference with self-love, what is the difference, in your perspective?
It's mathematical and data driven. Okay, it's not emotional. So love is emotional. So for example, I will know my worth because I know I can do XYZ. Okay, I can do XYZ very well. Therefore, I know I'm worth $200 or $500 or $5,000 because I have got the credibility, I've got the credentials, I've got the experience, etc. So it's all like tick boxes. It's all bullet points that validate that opinion. It's not because I love myself, therefore I know I'm worth that kind of thing. What was the other one you said? Not self-courage. What did you say?
Self-love, self-worth, and confidence.
Confidence. Okay, confidence. Confidence usually comes from the knowledge of being a certain way. Okay, so if you want to, so I'm a speaker, I'm a public speaker, and I get on stage, people say, "Oh, you got so much confidence." Okay, it's not confidence; it's loads and loads and loads of practice.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Okay, if people in relationships, people say, "Oh, you got so much confidence with men, or you got so much confidence with women." It's like I've learned certain skills and practiced them to a degree where I can do things very, very well. It's not an emotion that's involved. It's I'm trying to find the right word. I just can't find it. I don't want to say strategy. I want to call it it's not a strategy, but it's more, like I said, like a tick box kind of thing. It's a data driven knowledge about something rather than an emotion about something. Now, I know people, for example, who are really good at things, or are very, very experienced, get paid a lot of money, get a lot of recognition, get a lot of accreditation or fame, whatever, and think that they're worthless. Okay? Then we go to a totally different sphere. Then you got people who don't do anything whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to speak about something, but I would love for you to comment on that first, and then I'll go back to this. Okay, so please remind me about the self-worth thing. Okay.
Okay.
Did you want to say something? That's why I stopped talking.
Oh. No, I mean, so that's where I think there is a difference. I don't know if it's a female thing or it's, being a woman thing. It's like, it doesn't matter how many accomplishments and achievements that we have, it does not maybe link to the confidence that we could have. So then we go on a journey of, collecting even more evidence or even more certifications and even more, experience, but yet it doesn't link to an increase in confidence. And then that's where self-love come into play, where, hey, it's no longer another certification that you need, no longer another positive testimonial that you need, but even more self-love and even more practice of honoring self and things like that. And then there's an increase in self-love. So that has been the case for me in terms of, I've been coaching clients, I've been coaching, event clients, and they have great results. They make 10K through an event. They have, venue sponsorships. They make money. They got good at email lists. And even though my clients get great results, it doesn't make me even more confident. My price still linked to that certain, lower price. And then when I work into my self-love, then I continue to raise my price and things like that. But my skill set is the same. So the testimonial is still there. My numbers of experience is still the same. So that's why it's different in terms of self-love and confidence interwoven for us. Yeah, so that's interesting. And I think we talk about this, about coaching men and women as well. In terms of, with men, strategies is enough. But with women, you need to, talk about the emotions and underlying feelings behind a certain action and strategies. So as a coach, I see that. And as a client, I see that in myself as well. So that's really interesting, the difference between men and women and how we operate in our brain. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me get this. So have you ever met people, for example?
Yeah.
So this is my thing about self-love and the whole trend of self-love. It might not actually be what we're talking about, but because that's the term that's used to describe it, I'm just going to keep using that terminology. Okay. Whereas people are like, believe in yourself. Respect yourself is a good one. I like respect yourself because, or rather have self-respect rather than respect yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Have some self-respect, conduct yourself in a respectful way, or, interact with others respectfully. That's different. But I'm talking about this, self-love, confidence. I've met a lot of people who, are a little bit deluded in their self-love and confidence. Okay. And it comes across very often as arrogance. Arrogance being that way. So what's the balance? What's the balance between ability, skills, experience, strength, wisdom, and your perception of yourself being that way. So that's the confusing part for me.
I also believe in like how everybody have different spiritual journeys in terms of, you know, someone's spiritual journey is to have enough self-love and self-confidence to move out in the world. And another person's spiritual journey is about you already have all this confidence now, maybe put it into action or, you know, put it into, you know, strategies or be more down to earth. And the spiritual lesson is to be humble, for example. So that is so fascinating because I'm a Capricorn. And my father is a Leo, which have, you know, a lot of self-confidence, a lot of that. So yeah, maybe it could be a difference in spiritual journey as well. Yeah.
I do like that. Like, I want to make something very clear though, okay? Because before anybody sees this and goes, Angelo, you're being an asshole. I do believe people are on a different spiritual journey.
Yeah.
And I don't want anybody to think that, even though I say some people are deluded, etc., it doesn't decrease their value as human beings. Okay? The understanding, acceptance, respect of, and awareness of the value of other people as living souls, living people, entities that exist on the earth is like the foundation of everything else. Yeah. It's got nothing to do with actions or achievements or skills or anything like that. So I want to make that very clear first. Okay? That's where my belief comes from, my belief system. You might not share it. People might not share it. It might be different to some people, but I wanted to put that across before people think, why are you so nasty? Why are you so mean to people?
No.
I don't mean it that way. And I actually did a speech about it, about, you know, that there's no such thing as a faceless person, that, it, you know, you understanding the value of each individual person by themselves is, I think that helps a lot in the spiritual journey, is realizing that, you know, first of all, we're not alone. Yeah. We're not alone in this, and we are more similar than we are different, at the bare minimum. I'm trying so hard to remember what I wanted to tell you earlier. And I said, remind me of this. What did I tell you to remind me? I can't remember.
I think we were on the topic of self-worth still.
It was about self-worth, but I really can't remember.
It was another video?
I can't remember. I'll have to bring it up next time. When I should have written it down somewhere. I'm sorry, my bad. But it was very relevant. But I didn't want to keep talking and not give you a chance.
No, it's good.
Okay, so we spoke. Okay, so we spoke about support. We talked about self-love.
Yeah.
Which is good. We touched a little bit on how the brain works, which is going to be for next time. Please remind me about that. We're going to speak about that next time.
Yeah.
How women's brains and men's brains work.
Oh my
and
God,
our reaction
so
to
different.
that.
It's so different.
Okay. Oh,
wait.
There's another video.
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I want to say about how when I had a terrible boss, and I came home and I complained to my brother, and I said, you know, I was only late for 5 minutes, and my boss was saying blah 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 blah, and I'm like, oh, I know, I was just going on complaining, and then my brother turns to me and said, okay, then stop being late, and I'm like, no, you don't get the point. She was unreasonable. She came into the office the same time as me, and yet she was saying I shouldn't be late. Don't you get the point? Like, basically an emotional support that I'm looking for, or empathy, but yet she just give this solution and be like, just don't do it then. And I'm like, it's not that simple. So it's so fascinating at how, you know, simple a man's thinking could be, and how easy it is, you know, in terms of just solving certain things. There's not so much ties, you know, to a problem. I feel like compared to a woman, there's a lot more things that's underlying.
Yes, and it's simple for guys to do when we interact with other guys. Unfortunately, there are women in our lives.
Yeah.
Which makes things very difficult. Because we don't get it, you know. So are you familiar with the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus?
I love that book. It's so good.
Okay, by Dr. Gray. It's really good. But inside there, he speaks about it. So he speaks about the whole having to switch off, men needing to switch off the problem solver mode that we go into, and just listen. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. And I'll tell you why it's difficult. It's not just because our brains work that way, that we are solution focused or strategy focused, etc. But because it's Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, they're speaking about relationships. again, I'm going to try and be very clear. This is my opinion. Okay, I'm happy to talk about it. I'm happy to discuss about it. But right now, this is my opinion. If you don't like it, if you don't agree with it, I'm happy to chat and we can maybe it'll change.
Yeah.
But with all the information I have and experience I have till now, this is the opinion that I've developed. One of the most fundamental roles of a man in a relationship is to take care of a woman. I don't mean that sexist. I don't mean that to be degrading to women whatsoever. Okay, not that they need taking care of, but inherently, from many years ago, we were the hunter-gatherers. We were the protectors, the soldiers, the fighters, the whatever it was that needed to protect people. In modern society, that role has kind of disappeared to a large degree. Mm-hmm. Okay, because women have become more independent. They got their own jobs. They got financially more able to. So that need still exists within men, though.
Yeah.
Okay. So the moment a woman comes to us with a problem, saying, "Oh, this and this and this happened," that DNA thing kicks in and says, "If I can solve your problem, then I am protecting you, or I am helping you, or I am taking care of you in some way." Okay. So it's inherent in us because why? Because the person that's speaking to us is somebody we care about. Mm-hmm. We don't want them to be angry. We don't want them to be upset. We don't want them to be feeling the way they are. We want to solve that problem so that you can feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Problem is, we've never learned how. There's no manual on how to do it. So we do it in the way that works for us, which is not the way it works for a lot of women.
Yeah.
And then a lot of conflict happens.
Yeah, and inherently
it's like, you don't understand.
We don't need solutions. Inherently, it's like, no, we got it. Just be there and just listen and just give emotional support. Maybe tell us we are right.
Yes, and that's it. So a friend of mine came to me a while ago with a problem, and it's like, I don't understand it. I don't know why my wife is so angry or so upset about this thing over here, and I don't know what to do. I tried to explain that this. I said, dude, just say you're sorry.
Yeah.
But I didn't do anything. Just say you're sorry. Okay? And he called me later at night and he goes, dude, you're a genius. I said, oh, sorry, and everything was fine. Okay. Yeah. And then she came back and she goes, I know that you only did you didn't do these things, but women need to hear certain things like, yes, dear, you're right. And then later on, you will figure it out for yourself. You know what's right or wrong, but you just want to have, like you said before, that support.
Yeah.
You want the support. I want to know that you're in my corner. I want to know that you're on my side, that you've got my back.
Yeah.
Even if I'm wrong, I'm not going to admit I'm wrong because I'm proud.
We're not wrong. It's coming to you. We know we are right. We find certain things unreasonable and we have certain complaints and we are right in that opinion. And we want a second opinion that we are right.
You want validation of being right. And yes, and then the partner in your life is responsible for that. But they're also, and this is not just for women, this is for guys as well. You want the partner in your life to be very clear that they support you, they love you, they care about you, and they've got your back. But also need to call you out on your shit when it's necessary.
I love that. Oh my God. Because honestly, of all the relationships that I had, like the one that I have now will call me out on my shit. And it's so tough, but I could see how much I grow, because we all have our blind spots, but to be able to call someone out gracefully and nicely, before, before the ego goes like, ugh, and then you're like, okay, I get where you're coming from and I appreciate it. And sometimes it takes like a minute before I'm like, yeah, you're right. The first reaction is always like, how could you think that? Why? So I remember very clearly, like before that, I love to job hop. And in between job hopping, I always feel really miserable because I used to have this thing with identity and jobs. And so I would hate everybody who asks me, how's your job search going? It's like, it's none of your business. Stop asking me, because I hate to keep updating that, no, I am still jobless. So I remember my partner.
So basically they're asking, are you still unemployed?
Yeah, that's how I feel. And it's like, it's really crazy because I had a friend, I was like, oh, I really want to block him for asking me. And, my partner come to me, like grab me, like, you know what, this is something you need to work on. And I'm like, what do you mean? You're the unreasonable one. And then I worked on it. And then if somebody asks me, I'm like, yeah, I'm like this, sure. Like, this is my update. So I didn't have like emotional ties to that question anymore. But I'm glad I worked on it because I had 9 jobs in 9 years. So it was time for me to work on it anyway. So I was glad I did. How about you? Like how about
I've
your
had 9 jobs in 9
experience?
years.
How about like your experience in calling your partner out or your partner calling you out? Like how is that
um,
experience for you as a guy?
it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. Okay, I'm gonna pause here for a second, and I'll edit this later on. Okay.
Okay.
Sometimes I need to refer to the fact that you're gay,
Oh, I
so your
just want my
partner is a
partner.
girl.
Yeah.
So that needs to be made clear that you kind of speak the same language. Okay, it's not like you're talking to a guy who's got the boxes in his head. You're speaking to another woman who kind of understands the emotional need and stuff like that. I don't know what it's like because
Yeah, but
I'm not sure about the dynamics of
yeah, but I don't know if gender specifically plays a part in terms of the calling out topic though.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Why. But okay, so now I'm gonna start up the recording again. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm
So
perfectly
if you don't mind me
fine
mentioning it, then you tell me if
Yeah.
you want me to mention it. I
Yeah.
won't. But
Because I'm fine saying it, but my partner is not. So that's why it's like she's not out or anything. She's still a teacher, so it's difficult for her. So that's why I'm not like I'm gay anywhere.
okay. So just in case somebody you know sees this and knows her as well sees this, then you'd rather keep that not public knowledge.
Specific, yeah. So I will just keep it gender neutral for now, like partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing I'm going to refer to has to do with gender. Okay.
I
But
get
not
where
your
you're coming
gender.
from.
In my situation, you asked me with my partner, what was my experience?
Yeah.
So I'm refer to that, but I'm going to refer to the genders as well, which played a role.
Okay. Sure.
Doesn't matter. Okay, but if you'll
With me, we'll stick to the partner.
Okay, if you stick to partner, that's fine. But if
Yeah.
I ever say something that you feel, I'd rather not mention this, and just put up your hand and I'll stop, and then we can edit it.
Sure.
Okay, so
No problem.
okay, so start again.
Cut. The
Okay.
video cut.
It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible for me, and I'll tell you why. Because when I felt that I needed to call them out, I tried my absolute hardest to figure out the best possible way to do it, to be, not mean, not nasty, not judgmental, not critical.
Yeah.
And it was very, very difficult because some things you need to tell somebody is going to hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would kind of sandwich it between things.
Oh.
So I'd sandwich it like between, saying something nice about them, saying something good, something wonderful, giving some validation, edifying, and then I'll kind of mention something, but we could also work on this. And then I realized if you say "but" after anything good to somebody, it kind of negates the whole everything you've said before.
Yeah.
So don't say, you're wonderful and fantastic and intelligent and pretty, but
Yep.
everything you said means nothing.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that was my first lesson. The second was I did try my best, my hardest to say somebody. For example, I took the attention away from them.
Mm-hmm.
And I said things like, I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've noticed that. Or when this happens, this is what it means to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Rather than you do this, you do that, you've done this, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So I've tried all these things, and still she used to get very, very angry and very upset with me. And I used to get so bewildered as to, okay, first of all, I would like to lay down a premise. The first premise is I never ever want to hurt you intentionally.
Yeah.
Okay. I would never ever be mean to you intentionally.
Yeah.
Okay. These are premises or presuppositions that you have to have going into anything. It's the foundation. So anything that happens, I'm not attacking you. I'm not attacking any your character or who you are as a person, or at least, and my emotions towards you, or my commitment towards you has not changed.
Mm-hmm.
You need to make that very clear.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work either. So I've still not figured out a way on how to call somebody out on something that I feel a certain way about, which might be wrong. For example, one of the biggest ones is taking things that happen at work personally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like you said, you came in from work, you said to your brother, you got 5 minutes late only, and you said, oh, don't be late.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my response to that would be, early is Early is on time is late.
Yeah. So okay, if we were,
You understand? But that's me as a guy. I would never say that to you though. I would say, all I would think about is like, you're upset right now and you need somebody to sayang you.
Well, I wanted somebody to see that the whole situation was unreasonable, because the problem was my boss came in the same time as me, and yet she called me out as late because she is just as late.
I understand. I would say she's your boss. She
Yeah.
can do anything you can't do. Doesn't matter. She's the boss.
Yeah. So
you hold to a different standard.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But that's my guy brain.
Yeah.
That's my guy logic kind of brain.
Yeah.
And being in management, I've known that. What I'm trying to discuss with you or to explore with you is that I've tried to do this calling out thing. I just haven't found the formula to call somebody out without hurting them feelings or making them upset.
Okay, I have a theory. I think that there may be a difference in spiritual journey. That's why.
Okay, that's a good one. Yes.
That could affect it, because I'm on my spiritual journey where I know that when my partner called me out, it's out of love and I need to grow and I was ready to heal all my shitty trauma. But if she were to say it to me 1 year ago or 5 years ago, I will not take that very kindly at all, because I didn't see it was a me problem. I thought it was other people's problem.
No, thanks for being honest. That's very, very courageous of you.
It could be a difference in spiritual journey. What do you think?
I think you have a very valid point, actually. It depends where you are mentally. Now,
how about,
so like you said, some things are triggers,
Yeah.
Or like you speak to my father used to speak to me like that, or my father used to tell me, like, I'm not your father.
Yeah.
So I think you got a valid point. Is where you are on your spiritual journey.
And how about, like, how would you like to be called out? In terms of, I don't know if there's a difference between a guy and a girl. So I don't know if, like, for you, if somebody were to call you out, how would you want it to be done?
Good question. Okay, and this is the mind confusion part. Okay. I would like somebody to call me out the same way I call them out.
What? So okay, wait. So the Angelo framework of calling out is it the sandwich technique?
Yes, it is. Because why? I'll tell you why. Now, this is a guy thing, and that's why I don't know any other way, because I'm a guy. Okay? Is that when you tell a guy off, okay, as a woman, as a partner, you tell your guy, I'm not happy with this, the immediate thought that goes into our mind is, I failed and you don't love me anymore.
Interesting.
Okay. So I need validation first, that those things have not changed. The foundation is still there. You care. Your feelings haven't changed. You feel that there's things that can improve, and the improvement would make you happy. It doesn't mean that without the improvement you are unhappy. It just means you can be happier, and you'd be much more proud of me if I become more like this, or stop doing this, or behave in a certain fashion. And then once you've said the shitty part, give me a hug. Okay. Give me a hug. Give me a kiss. Do something to let me know that you still love me, even though I have this failing. Because if you do not do that to a guy, immediately the guy's brain will be like, okay, so I've lost points on this, I've lost points on that. She doesn't like this, she doesn't like that. She's unhappy with this. Oh my God, she's gonna find somebody else. Who fulfills their criteria. So no matter what happens, and a lot of women think this is jealousy. In many cases, you're doing this because of jealousy. Men would never be jealous, never ever be jealous, if their partner has done, has given them that confidence of. This is gonna sound really shitty though. It's gonna sound really weird and kind of like impossible. If their partner does not make them feel less than.
Oh, so sorry. Okay.
Go ahead, do your thing. No worries.
I really need to open the door. Okay,
go ahead. Do your thing. You bring me with to open the door. Oh, don't drop everything. Your phone fell down.
My mic.
You forgot you were attached.
Okay.
That's so funny.
Nareen, You can come in. Okay, so we need to wrap up.
No, we're gonna wrap up. We spoke for too long anyway. No worry.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to find the best way to put this. It's really, really hard. I think I'm just gonna cut the whole.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna leave the whole last part out. Just
okay.
Afterwards, just before I spoke about jealousy.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna talk about the jealousy part. I'm just gonna talk about that. The guys are like that. You know that we feel very often that we bring so little to the table.
Yeah.
That any criticism is taken very, very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it kind of rubs a bit on the self-worth. Now, I know in modern society, people will say, get over yourself.
Yeah.
Or you're too fragile or too needy or too. But bottom line is that's what guys need. And the moment we don't get that, the moment we feel that I'm failing you or I'm making you unhappy, things are gonna go bad. So we don't need this over the top kind of affection the whole time.
Yep.
We just need to know that we are still. It's a horrible word, but worthwhile. Mm-hmm. Okay. You still mean a lot to me. You still are important to me, or I still care deeply about you. And there's nobody else in the world but you. I just feel that when you do this, for example, other people will take advantage of you, or people might see you this way, and I don't want them to see you that way. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. It might not be the way you understand it, but coming from my perspective as a third person, I can see things maybe you don't see. Mm-hmm. And because I care about you so much, I wouldn't feel comfortable if people have a certain opinion about you, and that's what they'll have if you continue doing this, for example. Which I can't give examples. I'm just. Yeah,
I get it. I just
sharing.
Get it.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would work for me. Yeah.
Dealing with my brother, because sometimes
I think it would help your brother.
Yeah. How we communicate.
But you're a sister. You're supposed to piss him off.
No, I don't want to piss him off anymore. We're too old to piss each other off. But that's really good.
It's a sibling thing.
Yeah.
But it's different with the brother, because you're not going to lose your brother. He doesn't have to earn you or take care of you or anything. He's your family. He's gonna be there whether he's an asshole to you or not.
But calling out to him in a way that he would take it, because calling him out, without any of your technique, the Angelo technique, it just leads to a lot more resistance, like you're saying. So
yes, fighting words.
Yeah. So if you just call out with, you're great, but maybe, and then he's like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. So maybe that will work. Yeah.
Something else that certain women who are very, very intelligent and have figured it out say to guys, and it works every single time. Mm-hmm. Every single time. I don't even know if I should mention it, actually, because it's maybe it's a trade secret of some sort, and we've got to wrap up soon. Yeah. When they say something along the lines of, when you behave this way or say these things or do these things, people won't see the you that I love so much or that I care about so much. They won't see how amazing you are at this kind of thing. So what essentially happens in the guy's brain is that you have this estimation of me. The way I'm doing things makes me perform at this level, and I have to get to this level because that's how you see me. I don't know. This is really hard to explain.
At all.
It's very, very hard to explain. Okay, so if I said to you, Rashidah, I said, you know what? Okay, can you give me an example of what you had with your brother? I guess I don't know what.
With my brother,
you can cut this out. It doesn't matter. We'll see.
No,
if it's not good, we'll cut it out.
Him getting a certain job and me wanting to follow that.
Job, very good one.
Yeah.
So if I said to you, Rashidah, you know what? I know that you're super intelligent. Okay, you're really creative. You have an entrepreneur spirit, and if you do this job, I just feel that you won't be able to shine in that space the way I know you can, the way I know you deserve.
Yeah.
So essentially, I'm telling you is that this job is beneath you, or this job will make you look dumb, or won't let you fulfill your potential. But I've got to say it in a way of like, this is my opinion, is that I believe you are able to do so much more, or do so much better, or you will be able to grow so much more.
Okay.
Because I've seen it in you, and I feel it in you, and I've seen how you do things. I'll give you some like evidence. You know, I'm not just saying things. Oh, because you are my girlfriend, then you know you can take over the world. You might be a dumbass. Who knows? But if I say I've seen you do this, and I've felt you do this, and you've done this for me, I feel that you should really explore other options that will harness all these amazing qualities that you have. And this one, I don't think you'll be appreciated as much. And it will really break my heart if people don't see the real you because of the position that you have.
Okay.
Means nothing to a woman.
Yeah.
To a guy, however, that is like the ultimate compliment.
I see. I get where you're coming from.
You understand?
I can use that.
So now you know.
For sure. Yeah.
So if I say this to, if I say it to my partner, you'll be like, you just don't want me to do this. Why?
Yeah.
You think I'm not
That's
good
your
enough?
opinion. In my opinion, I would say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, what are you
That's
trying
so
to do?
different.
Control me? What do you? It's so different.
Yeah.
But for a guy, that would work. So I have no idea how to tell somebody off or call them out. Or the opposite sex. If I told it to a guy, you'd understand.
Okay. I think that for a girl, instead of like, maybe this job is not for you, a girl would be like, maybe if you take this other job, this would suit you better. So maybe in terms of like a pleasure lollipop more than a pain thing. I think it works
But
better.
what if you don't have one? Why don't have another option?
I mean, in terms of like, if this job doesn't suit this person, for example, for a female, it'll be like, hey, instead of this job, why don't you try this other job because of A, B, C, because you'll be better at it and things like that. So it's like flattery.
Yeah, but what if you don't have another option? What if you don't have like this other job? What if that other job doesn't exist?
How is it possible? It doesn't exist.
Oh, if you say I don't like, instead of this job over here will be a lot more pleasurable.
Yeah, so find another job. So instead of this job offer that you're considering, why don't you find another job that would fit you? Because the
a hypothetical one.
Yeah, so you're saying about a job offer that
that wouldn't work
you
for a guy.
shouldn't take. Yeah, so I'm saying how it works for a woman, because it may not be avoiding pain but seeking pleasure for a woman.
Yeah, women are all about pleasure.
Yeah.
Men are all about pain.
Stuff. Yeah.
No, it's like okay, it's yeah. The motivating factors are all about feeling good.
Yes, of course.
Whereas the guy's motivating factors are all about responsibility, duty, necessity, practicality, things like that. It might not make us feel good, but we'll do it anyway because it ticks those boxes. If we just went for what made us feel good, it would be sitting at home playing PlayStation and doing nothing.
Women definitely have that as well in terms of taking care of their children and having to work if, like the income is not sufficient and you have to, pick a job, for example. I think we do it in different ways. But definitely in terms of seeking a positive point versus avoiding a negative point will be a big thing for women.
Okay, so can I ask you another question real quick? And then we got to stop because, you've been here for ages. And I've got to edit this thing. How can I put this?
Let me stop the recording. Yeah.
You bet you did.
Come again? No. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so what I was going to ask is this, is that would a woman spend more time and effort protecting what she has or getting more stuff?
I don't know if it's a woman thing, but for me, it's getting more stuff.
Okay.
How about for you?
Guys will generally try and protect what they have.
Interesting. I get what you mean. I definitely get what you mean.
So, like, would you? Okay, for example, would if you had X amount of money?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you spend that money in a kick-ass security system for your home and your valuables, or use that money to renovate your house, make it nice and bigger? Okay, you'll spend more time and effort stopping people from taking what you have, then going to get more stuff.
Definitely get more stuff. Yeah.
So for you, it's just get more stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas our brain, maybe it's not a guy-girl thing. Maybe it's just a you and me thing. Who knows?
Yeah. But that's a good one.
We'll spend more time. Yeah, I would rather protect what I have.
But why?
So people
Can you explain? Why protect what you have? It will already be yours. I mean, it's already yours.
Yeah, but I would rather protect it mean like so people don't take it away from you or don't lose it.
Yeah, but why would it be lost?
It's a survival mechanism.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why that I would think that guys are more inclined to buy insurance than women.
Interesting. That's a good one.
That's my opinion. Why?
Yeah.
Because we try and consider all circumstances. Yes, I have this now, but what if I lose it? Or what if it gets taken from me? Or it's very scary. It creates a lot more fear.
So interesting.
So that fear is a lot more powerful than, hey, you know what? If you use that money, don't buy insurance. You can use that as car payments to buy a nicer, better car.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but won't I be able to insure that car? Then I won't be able to insure it.
Yeah, I think it's just never come across my mind that I would lose it. Like, how is that possible? But I do think it's.
And then you're shocked when you do.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't have any experience to back that fear up or even have that. So maybe it's law of attraction. Who knows? That's a good one.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's I'm gonna leave it now.
We're gonna wrap it up.
We're done.